So Gaffer, after a week's away from footballing action, are you raring to go again for this week's game against Wrexham?
Nah. Yeah, of course I have. Absolutely. It's a good game to have. You know, we always like to put our wits up against strong opposition, which obviously Wrexham are, as Solihull were last week, and Dagenham the week before, of course. So, you know, these are the teams that you can see whether your team's on its way to being a playoff team, if you like. Obviously you're going to win some, lose some at the top there. That's the nature of the beast. But I am looking forward to it because we're at home. We had a good result there when we drew. It was their first game, wasn't it, for the Hollywood people and for the club. And it was a fantastic atmosphere, unbelievable. And I think it helped us as much as it helped them, really. And I think the same will be here. I think at the end of the day, you know, our crowd's going to be very, very important. I know I say this nearly every other week, but it is, and I'm going to keep saying it because it matters. And if they can give us that, you know, real noisy, supportive support, this is the team to do it against. So, and the team to do it for, of course. So that's why I'm looking forward to it, because I think the fans always rise to the occasion.
That was very evident in a very similar game against another one of the fancy side of the division against Stockport, and the noise that was created. It's clearly having an excellent effect on the players, wasn't it? And giving them an extra edge, especially when they were defending that lead towards the end of the game. It
does, and you know, 12th man is not just a saying, is it? You know, it really does help, and every manager will say it along the way that yes, our players did well today, but our support won the game. And you know, I'm no different. I think that is a massive part, because you know, when I was playing, you know that that sort of individual support as well as team support just goes such a long way with the confidence of the players. And we got some good players here, absolutely, and some of them are experienced, some not so experienced, but they all feel the same. They all know when things are going well for them, and if people are telling them with a genuine all-round support from the dugout, from their teammates, from the supporters, that can bring them out, bring the best in them, you know, bring the best out in them.
Now, it's not been the first time this season, for various different reasons, where you've had a week off. How have you been utilising that with the squad when you haven't got that match at the end of the week?
Yeah, I mean, you say that as if I've had the week off. I haven't had the week off. We've been working very hard, and no, I don't have to justify that, of course, I know. But you've got longer to plan for the opposition you're going to play when you haven't had a midweek game. And you know, of course, we've got a slightly bigger squad to choose from this week, and so you know, we've had to work on the things we need to work on to make sure we give ourselves the best chance of winning this game.
Obviously, you mentioned that the squad has been sort of boosted in the availability of players that you've got to. That wasn't the case the last two games that you had, Altrincham and Solihull. But it's important to, although the last game was against Solihull and it ended in defeat, only 3 days earlier you got a superb result up at Altrincham, and there are going to be defeats along the way, so it's important to look at the bigger picture, isn't it?
Well, it was very close. When you look back at the stats of how many shots you had, how many shots they had, what percentage of play that you had, what did they have, how many corners, how many whatever it is, lots of the actual running in the game, it was very 50-50, and as I've said, we didn't expect the biggest man, biggest footballer in the world, to come on and score from 8 yards with a back heel that hit the back of the net quite firmly. And then obviously there was only a few minutes to go, and we had to push forward, and we left ourselves open, trying to go for get a draw, if you like, get the goal back. But it didn't happen. and it was 50-50. We did have the same amount of chances as them, probably slightly more actually in chances, but unfortunately that's how it goes when you're playing, like when Man City are playing Liverpool, then it can go either way.
Now, you've made it quite clear that your aspirations are still very much about finishing in the top 7 in the division this season. And with that in mind, obviously there's going to be a lot of 6-pointers between now and the end of the season, isn't there? With a lot of teams like Wrexham on Saturday that you're going to be looking to reel in.
Yes, Solihull was another team that that was the situation with. Wrexham, and we've got a lot of the top teams at home. So that's why the home games are going to be massive. Now we still, when we started these 2 points a game, we're still on them. From the last 8 games, I think it's 16. We're right on it. We were in credit before Dagenham and Solihull, but that's why it's good to be in credit, because you need to win 2 and lose 1 from now till the end of the season. And I think we'd rather not lose 1, of course, because if you do lose a couple on the trot, then obviously you have to win a few more in sequence to get back those 2 points a game, and that's what we're going to need to sneak into the lower end of the playoffs.
But if you look at some of the results you've got against the likes of Chesterfield, against Notts County away, Wrexham away, Stockport at home, your record against some of the top sides has actually been pretty good this season, and that must give the lads confidence that they can live with the so-called best of the division. Yeah,
we had a poor start. We've had sort of some games where we haven't been able to, most games where we haven't been able to play what we would class as our full team, our best team, with everybody available, so there's good competition, etc, etc. Subs coming off the bench that were as good as the ones that were coming off, that sort of thing. So we need a period of time when we thought that was last week, but obviously that didn't happen due to COVID reasons, which was unlucky. So now hopefully we're getting people back, and hopefully, cross our fingers, because when we do these interviews it's on a Thursday, but 2 days is a long time in football and we don't know what's going to happen. A couple of lads have gone out, as far as we didn't offer Byron Moore another contract. He had a contract up till January, and we felt that he'd been out a long time, we couldn't afford him to be out again. So we thanked him for his service, and he's now looking for a new club. And also Gabby Rogers needs some games. We've got him up to a fitness level that we think is where he needs to play games now at the end of the week, and still learn the game. He's got a good game, he's got some great ability, but there's certain things that he has to improve on. And Plymouth Parkway his manager came on and said, look, do you want him to play games? Is he ready? I said, yeah, he's ready to play games, that's for sure. So he's gone there for at least a month's worth of games, so it's a loan to the end of the season, but there's always a 28-day recall or 28-day send back, depending on how he does.
And finally, Gaffer, you mentioned at the end of the last game that you'd like to have this tight, close-knit squad where you've got as many people as back as possible and available, so that you've got decisions to make in the first team and on the bench as well. How close are you, do you think, to having that squad that you're after?
We're close. We're still not 100%, but we are close. And I think that gives the regular players, if you like, the ones that are almost on the team sheet every week, it gives them that confidence that they haven't got to keep changing their partner who's with them out there, just having a different player to play with nearly every week. So that goes with consistency of injuries, so people not getting injured, but also consistency of people's games as well, and that creates a more solid group if you're getting results and they're playing with somebody who's done a good job because you're getting results, if you know what I mean. So it's that gives players confidence as well, when they know they can trust everybody around them because they played with them more often in winning situations.
Thank you for joining us this morning, Gaffer, and the very best of luck for Saturday.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.